Okay, it says that I'm live. Can you see it now?
Yes, you are
Nice.
live.
Hell yeah. Alright, cool. Nice. I've played against not this Undying Legion list. Let's just go right into it. Do you want to put it in the Discord that we're live again?
I did.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've played against this Empire list. I like it. I think that it's a cool list. Yay, I'm back. Yeah, Martin. I think it's a cool list. I think that in this scenario, I don't know. I think that this is going to be pretty 50-50 in my opinion.
Well, okay, so to hold the center, he'll have to put his Imperial Guard in the center, and then uh yeah.
He's got the Griffin Riders, he's got the volley gun. Like you can't the with the depending on the board setup, the volley gun can really do a number on the Ushapti, on the chariots.
On the chariots, yeah. I feel like he should shoot the chariots with the volley gun.
He's got a lot of small arms fire, which I actually have always found that Tomb Kings suffer from.
Yeah. He
And I
has
think
nothing
that
above like Shabti are res 4, the chariots are res 4. So the strength 4 AP2 shooting from the handguns is actually kind of threatening. Like the chariots are res 4 and 3 armor, I think.
and he only has the
Um,
one hierarch, so I don't know that he's going to be able to do that much healing necessarily. By the way, if there's rendering issues or whatever, let me know. I futz with some stuff. Hopefully, it's better. Um, but please let me know if it looks shitty. We can blame Evo. Um, so I think that it kind of depends on the terrain. Honestly, I think, and
yeah, Shane had some issues with the footprint of his chariots in our
mhm.
game. Like we had a forest, and then there was kind of impassable in the middle on one side of our board, and in between the Shabti infantry and chariots, it was like a little awkward for him to deploy all three.
Mhm.
And that ended up being a problem. And now he has Legion charioteers, so they're not light troops anymore. So they really have to deploy like three wide probably,
Yeah.
if he wants a rank and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's 150 frontage. That's like a decent footprint for these small boards. So I think yeah, that'll matter. Like he has the scroll of desiccation, which I guess maybe he's hoping there'll be like some water and he'll just get rid of it and then he can deploy his infantry.
These scorpions though are going to be pretty clutch because they can clear out that light infantry. They can kill
Yeah.
basically anything in the army. They can actually even hold up Knights of the Sun Griffin if they really really need to. Um, like
Are they res
they're no
5?
joke.
Are they
I
res
think they
5?
are Res 5. I mean, they used to be Res 5. They haven't really changed that many things. But I think that that's enough. I like these two lists. I think that this will be an interesting matchup. I don't necessarily um, I don't necessarily think that one person is favored over the other. Um, yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a good point. If the Sand Scorpions, yeah, the Sand Scorpions are res 5. They're only armor 2. So if he brings a Sand Scorpion in behind a unit of 10 handgunners and the handgunners turn around and shoot it, what happens? He gets like 5 hits. He does like 2 or 3 wounds. So he
Mm-hmm.
probably doesn't kill it. Um, that's like pretty sweet. Like then he can charge and they probably don't do anything in combat because they're wounding on sixes. It causes fear. So yeah, like bringing in 2 scorpions behind each of the light infantry units seems strong.
I agree.
And like yeah, I think to a certain extent this game's going to come down to if the volley gun is turned on or not. Like if the volley gun is doing its thing and blows big holes in the chariots. Also, I don't after he kills I don't know how it works with the chariots. Like how soon does he get to start distributing hits I guess it doesn't really matter. He doesn't have a cannon or
I think he
anything.
would
Um,
start distributing hits almost. It's like
like
ogres, right?
immediately,
So
right?
it's
Because he's
three. Yeah.
well, no, ogres have a special rule called Noblar or whatever. That's why it's three for them. But for
Oh,
everyone else, it's five. Like for Chosen Knights, it's five.
okay. So
So
Shane is in here. He says once one rank in infantry dies. The thing
okay,
about chariots though is that they're pretty. While they have a huge footprint, there isn't much space for anyone to like dodge from them. So you can just get like raffle stomp with this, right? Like they things can charge in and just like do a shit ton of damage, right? So if they get a chance to engage, it's gonna be not fun for Jacobo. And they can
yeah,
shoot through anything other than and like they can do a number on the Imperial Guard, right? Um, so I don't know. I think that it's pretty 50-50. I think it comes down to some maneuvering, and I agree with you that if the volley gun overperforms, then or just shows up, then it's GG's. This volley gun, by
yeah,
the way, did 12 shot, did like 24 hits and like killed an entire unit of archers in just like one volley against me. It was
yeah.
so
It was
brutal.
in the game against Martin. I can't remember if you were there for this or not, but he had to kill Martin's prince in like one round of shooting, and he puts +1 to hit on the volley gun, and then he rolls like 5-5-3, which is two away from the best possible roll for the
Yeah,
volley gun, obviously being 5-5-5, and just like deals 3 wounds instantly. It was like pretty legit performance. But
that's
yeah,
pretty
obviously can't rely on
brutal.
that every time. Okay, I agree. I think it's going to be like a competitive matchup. I think like the great swords will beat probably the Shabti straight up. I think,
I mean,
given the characters
depends.
that will be in them.
Yeah, I think it
But I
depends
think
on
he
what's on
will.
them and like what happens. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I think
The other
yeah,
issue
we'll
is
see.
that the
It'll be interesting.
skeletons are going to be the bunker of this hierarch, right? So it's like, can he really put
Yeah,
them into combat? I don't know.
he
I think
has.
it's interesting. He has to, right?
Okay, yeah,
Anyways,
Shane is have the same special rule as ogres. That makes sense. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be a little lame. Okay. Should we look at the next matchup?
yeah, I have it up. It's going to be Jeff versus Bing.
Cool.
I will say right now that this is the battle of my favorites because I love both of these two people. So I really, have no dog in this race. Whoever wins is a great person. Um,
So the Stygiasaur, how many spells does the Stygiasaur have? Let's find that out right off the bat.
I think it has one.
No, that's not right. It either has two or three. I will
Yeah.
tell you in a
Well,
second.
I will say this: that of all the people in the tournament, I feel as though Shane has. No, sorry, Jeff has done the most practice.
It's true. He's been grinding and he's been slaying people.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mystic Traveler gives you two spells.
Okay.
So Shane, I mean Jeff, I don't know, Jeff has Rune of Devouring, which has really fucked me in the past because once he eats one of your spells, you're down to one spell, which
Yeah.
functionally just means you don't have a magic phase,
Yeah.
right? Like he throws 5 or 6 or whatever at your one spell, it's over. So I feel like that's going to happen here. I mean, maybe Bing's going to be really careful. Like against the Rune of Devouring in with these like one caster magic phases, you have to like basically you get your spell one time
Yeah.
in the game, and then he eats it.
I will say that
Um,
Bing has a really great army against Shane's, right? Um like what do you do against 40 temple guard 40 Saurus just in your face? Like sure you can kill this, you can get rid of the magic phase, you can, whatever. The shooting
no,
like
I think the Greybeards can fight
a unit.
basically either of these units.
Yeah, and I think the Seekers can hold them up for a while. Looking at it and thinking about it, I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna say that Shane is gonna go into this
It's
with.
Jeff. It's
Oh
Jeff.
my god, I don't know, Jeff. I'm so sorry, Shane. Honestly, Jeff is a great person, so you should be. That's a compliment, if anything. I don't know you. You're probably good too. Um, but Jeff, I think, has the advantage here just because of how linear Bing's army is. Yeah, I agree,
Yeah,
Simon. It's going to be hard for Bing. Um, and
I think after once he eats the spell, the magic phase is just gonna suck, and then it's just really hard. Like I don't think Bing's units are that much stronger than the dwarf units, and the dwarf have shooting and
that being said, Bing has a lot more experience than Jeff does. Um,
not
and
really with lizards though.
that's true. But I mean, it's like big blocks of infantry. You know, like how much it like translates over. You know. I don't know. But I agree. I think that Jeff has the upper hand here. I think the small arms fire, the organ gun, and he just added this ballista. The ballista just like is very good against this Stygiosaur. Um,
Yeah, I think the Decidusaur is not going to be a big factor in this game.
I
I think it's
agree.
going to get its spell eaten, and then it's going to get shot at with a ballista,
Yeah.
and then like that's that.
And I think that Jeff's army is really good on these smaller boards. The miners will just like come up exactly where they need to be, and the pistols will be relevant turn one. I don't know. I think that this is an uphill battle for Bing. And honestly, I think that the entire tournament might be an uphill battle for Bing, except for the last mission because his these are so hard to kill.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with this Temple Guard unit with the Relentless Banner.
Yeah,
Like turn one, he can be in the center. Can he can he just get charged by Greybeards and take that charge successfully? I don't think he can, but
I
maybe
think you
this
can
Soaring
grind him down,
Warlord is
especially if this
better than I
warlord
think.
is in there.
Yeah, if the Warlord's in there, the Warlord will beat the Smith and Greybeards for sure. The Warlord
Yeah.
is quite scary. Like Glory of the Dawn Age is no joke.
I mean, as I said,
Um,
like I think if Jeff engages too soon, the Saurus blocks will just engage, like will just grind him down.
you know,
But if
yeah.
he doesn't, if he plays a little bit cagey, then I think that the dwarf unit has a great advantage. All
All
right.
right, yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, I think it's the objective favors the like source unit that's going to march 15 onto it in the first turn, and then if there's a warlord in there, like it's not really going to be able to fight it. He's going to have to shoot it for a few turns. Like
Yeah.
lizards are probably going to get the secondary. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Um, cool. Are we good for the next one?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it.
I think that this is gonna be very bloody.
Okay, this is I haven't really read Daniel's list yet. So he has a shaman. He has an adept of shamanism with a 2-up and paired weapons, and then
Mm-hmm.
he has an adept of witchcraft. Okay, I think this is just smart. I think bringing two casters is better than people think it is in 2K. Like most people have brought one adept, but I think your magic phase just is so bad. Like,
I mean, only really a couple of different armies can bring two adepts, and I think
yeah,
orcs and goblins
very
are
true.
one of them.
Yeah.
Um, because they have just the beef to. I mean, I don't know where this goblin witch doctor goes though.
So does Dick's
Oh,
list
oh,
just
it
have
goes in the
no magic?
mounted. Say that again.
Just has no magic, does it? Dick's list just has no magic, huh?
No,
Or am I missing
no, no,
something?
no. I played against this. First of all, this Skaven list straight up just like thunderfucks Sylvan elves. Like
Wait, so
100.
what's his magic phase?
It's
How
not
does
a
his
he
magic?
doesn't have a magic phase. He pushes up on you,
Okay.
and you're like, all right, well, cool. Basically, he was like, he only started playing Ninth Age, and he didn't want to read the magic section, so he didn't bother with it. And honestly, it's a lot of beef on the board.
Yeah. I like the 10 rat ogres. It's just like what is that, 490 points? Like that's a lot of wounds.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's a lot of wounds, and
Okay.
they do work.
All right, so sorry, I got distracted. Daniel's list, he has these two adepts, which I like. And then he
Mm-hmm.
has 41 orcs with bows and spears.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has 8 boar riders with paired weapons, 2 Nasher herds, and a great green idol. I think this is a great list.
I think
I
this is a
like
really
everything
good
about
list as
this.
well.
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all, Great Green Idol in 2,000 points is like a strong place, I think. And then he has this massive block, one massive block to sit in the center or do whatever needs to happen, and that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly his core, 502-point core. And I think that block will beat a lot of stuff like at this points level. Like They're,
Yeah.
they'll have Born to Fight pretty much all the time, and they're just gonna be like, whatever, AP 3
Yeah.
a lot of the time. It's just like pretty intimidating unit that come out of core. And then
Yeah.
the Nasher herds do a ton of damage also. I guess I
The
guess
issue
those magic.
is the issue is that with the boards being the way that they are and Skaven being Skaven, it's just going to be very easy for um, Dick to not offer him any flanks, and then it's just like model on model. You know, like he's not going to be able to really leverage these Nasher herds very well because they're like good to like come into the flanks and just be annoying that way. Like I don't really see, and I think that the Feltus brutes or whatever, the rat ogres are will beat any unit. Will beat any unit in this army.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
Um.
not even sure if they charge into the big block of orcs. I'm not even sure how that goes, frankly. I'm not that familiar. I mean, he's definitely not going to break the orcs, right? Like,
No, but he'll grind it down.
yeah. I think the magic phase for Daniel is going to be. I mean, obviously, Tix doesn't even have a magic phase, but the magic phase for Daniel is going to be like actually relevant, real magic phase. Like,
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think I favor Daniel here, but I did see Dick like run over some people. Some
Yeah.
people trying to do tricksy stuff with this list. But the thing is that Daniel's not really trying to do any tricksy stuff, right? Like he has a toughness 8, like PSB,
Yeah.
and a giant block of orcs, and then he has some stuff that like charges really well, and then he has an actually good magic base. Like I feel like
But
that's
Simon,
pretty
how
good.
long will it take the orcs to kill the 10 brutes? Like, they won't do it in a turn.
No, no, but I just think they're
I think that, I mean,
the
yeah,
brutes don't even cause the brutes don't even cause fear. So their only like real advantage they have
two
is like
turns?
that they
Okay.
get stomps.
Hmm. Okay, I mean, I believe you. And the Grenadiers are not great into this list because, other than I mean, they're really good against the Feral Orc Ed Bashers, I guess. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Daniel is it Daniel?
Daniel, yeah,
I think Daniel's list definitely has. This is a great list. This is a great 2,000 point list. He got everything he
yeah,
needs. Honestly, he got everything he needs.
yeah. I
Um,
agree. I favor Daniel here. I also just favor Daniel like in the tournament because I just think this list is strong.
I wouldn't
But
mind
what do
facing
I
this
know?
list with my Wood Elves, because the Orcs are quite easy to dodge, and then it's really just the mounted Edbashers and the Nasher herds. Um, but yeah, I think that Daniels has like a pretty strong, like it's a good, very strong list.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little awkward that this guy is going to be. Is he by himself or is he going to be in here?
The guy on the spider.
Yeah,
I assume he's going to be with the head bashers, right? He's standard cavalry, same base size.
yeah. And there's a while where the spider. There's like multiples. There's like a giant spider or whatever, but
Simon says he can't go with the orcs, so I'm not sure where he's going to be.
yeah, he must be just. So then the grenadiers can kill him pretty easily.
Yeah, could be.
Um,
Maybe he'll have to hide.
all right,
Match
moving on down the
five.
line. Okay, so we have Joe's Warriors of Chaos and Martin's Highborn Elves.
Okay, so let me talk about Joe's list a little bit as the Warriors player.
I
I
think
think
it's a
it's a
good
pretty
list.
interesting list. So he has a 720 point warrior block, which
Yeah,
I
which
think
is great in this scenario.
the key to understand this list is that he has 720 points of warriors out of core.
Yeah,
Um, and so these are a res 5. Oh my god. No, that's not true, Simon. He has Dark Prelate on his Chosen Lord. So he has 2 bound spells.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't love his magic phase. Like most of the time, he's going to be getting 0 spells off, but he doesn't have 0 magic. Um, but he does have this big block of Res 5 warriors, and he can put his Chosen Lord in them, and then that unit is just going to be like very hard to mess with.
yeah,
Um, the Lord is Res 6, but the Lord's only a 3+ armor, so he's not immortal. And then he has Warrior Knights a chariot, horseman, and warhounds. So then he has some like fast stuff
I
to
think
go on the side.
Martin. I think
Yes.
Martin has this list's number. I think that the 20 warriors in the middle, like, there's not much you can do about that. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
uh, there's just not much. I don't know why he gave him supernatural dexterity on this Grey Open. Does that what does that do for you?
Well, it means you hit on twos instead of threes against a lot of stuff, right? Because what's a commander's base offense? Six or something.
Yeah,
So this takes you up to eight, right? So that's pretty good. You're hitting on twos against stuff that has defense four. I
yeah.
assume
You
that's
you
like
you
the
hit an
point of
initiative
it.
order. Wait, so no, but Martin, what does supernatural? Does it just give you plus dexterity?
No, it gives you offense too.
Oh, okay. It gives you offense as well.
Yeah, yeah,
But
plus
how
two
are you
offense.
hitting on twos? You have to be
Because
double,
it's going to
right?
be offense eight.
Oh,
No, you have to be
okay. So
three. You have to
you're
be
just
four
assuming
more.
you're gonna be okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Um,
So he's gonna be offense eight, which I think is just means you're gonna be hitting on twos naturally against a
yeah,
decent amount of the stuff you're fighting. I just think super dex is like a good thing that if you're not gonna take an enchantment, super dex is like often just a good thing to put on. Like it got 5 points cheaper in this recent update, and you just see it
yeah.
everywhere now. I feel like
I don't know. I think that maybe what does magical heirloom? Magical heirloom gives you the hereditary always. Oh, is it super cheap? Okay, then I'm into it.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's like 15 points.
okay,
It's a good choice. I like it. I like
okay.
it. I think it's the right choice here.
All
I mean,
right, that
it's
makes
mostly a
sense.
gray weapon, and then it has like now maybe it hits a little bit better.
I think that's
Um,
fair. I mean,
and I like that
I
he
think
took
that
the
this
heirloom on the
lion chariot
adept.
guy is super tanky,
Yeah, I think he took the adept. I like that he took the heirloom because three spells is a lot better than two spells.
and I
Like having
really
watched
like
a
in
lot of
these
two spell
small
magic
point
phases.
games. I really like that hereditary. That hereditary is
Yeah,
super sick.
yeah, yeah. I basically
Um,
think like having watched a lot of two spell magic phases over the past couple weeks playing 2000 point games, like they're just bad, and
yeah,
three spells is just a lot better.
I agree.
Especially because the hereditary is like, yeah, as you said, I think particularly good at 2000 points. And then it's also just like relatively flexible. Like you can cast it
Yeah,
if you're
definitely.
fighting, and you can also cast it when you're not fighting, which is really nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think that there's a couple
But
things
what is
working
he going
in.
to do about this warrior block?
I
Like
mean,
literally, what
nothing.
is
You
he
don't
going to
do
do?
anything about the warrior block.
They March
Um,
15, turn one, right? Like that's kind of scary, right?
yeah, I mean, this could have been. This could have. Yeah, I mean, there's not much. Hey, Jasper, how are you? Um, I think that there's a couple of things. I wish that we could have shaved some points in. I'm not a huge believer in magic items. Um, but
But how are you going to ignore it, Martin? Because he's going to March 15 on the first turn. He's going to be getting the secondary, and he's also just going to be like pretty close to you. You're going to have to deploy smart, I think, and try and keep your slower blocks away from that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard because normally I would say you just throw your lord into it and he can like sort of grind it down eventually because they're not really doing that many wounds, but you are going to be
uh,
losing combat, so you don't have a BSB, so it's kind of like a tricky strategy. You can do
I
some.
I
You can do some stuff with line guard. Like you can do some like setup. What I think is going for Martin is that everything else in his army matches up really well against Joe's.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Like
Um,
the Joe's fast stuff doesn't have great fights against
no,
any of the rest of this stuff. I
and
mean,
he has
except the archer.
alchemy, which is a pretty inspired choice here.
Yeah, alchemy's gonna shit on this list for sure. He
Yeah,
can shoot the knights, he can shoot the chariot, he can shoot even the warriors if he feels like it.
yeah,
The thing also that's really going here for Martin is that his general beats Joe's Lord pretty straightforwardly. Like Joe's Lord is S5 only. It's like six attacks,
yeah,
offense nine, but he's only strength five. So,
yeah,
he's wounding on threes, and then Martin has like five up, four up after that. Like he's just not gonna do anything.
yeah. I mean, Simon, I would rather. I think that what you do is you can easily get rid of everything but the warriors, and then you can set up for a late game charge. But I think that you're giving up the objective. I think. I
Yeah.
think that you're
I think the
probably
Warriors
not
will
going to get the
probably have to
objective.
take I think it's gonna be like Warriors will take the objective. And I think if Martin can be smart enough and tricky enough to like prevent the warrior block from getting a nice charge, which I think is hard. Like, I don't think that's easy at all because it's going to March 15 the first round, which I keep saying, but I feel like is important.
Yeah.
If he can do that, then he can whittle it down, and eventually his general will come in and like can actually beat the Lord and potentially grind down the unit because maybe he
Yeah.
does a couple wounds and like the unit has static combat res. Like one
Yeah. I
thing worth
mean,
mentioning is these archers are going to be pretty useless. Like I guess he can shoot the warhounds,
he can
which
kill the
may matter.
barbarians. He can kill the warhounds. He can honestly plink some wounds off of the warrior chariot, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, honestly, they're not awful into the warriors. What are
He
those?
can't he can't do shit to the chariot. It's a res 5. It's
Are
only
the
6.
warriors res 5 too?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. These archers are pretty shitty. I agree. Um,
Yeah. The
I
archers can shoot the hounds, and they can. You're right. They can probably plink the horsemen a little bit. I mean, the horsemen have a 4-up save, so it's not free.
yeah.
But
It's not
yeah,
free, but it's 18 of them. That's a sizable number. I think 18 archer. I think this list will also maybe suffer in breakthrough a little bit. Um,
the
but I think it
warriors list
conserves its points pretty well if you play KG. No, not the Warriors list. Martin's list.
will suffer in breakthrough.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean he has elves, so everything marches 10.
yeah,
But
that's
yeah, he
fair.
doesn't have any actually fast scoring units. He just has infantry scoring.
I sort of wish that we pared some points down and were able to get a chunkier Lion Guard unit, but I don't know.
What does this War Banner of Rima do? I forget.
I literally have no idea. I've never used it.
All right,
I
I'll
think
look
that
it
it's
up.
good though. I think that it's good. I just, as I said, I don't. I only have one unit that can take a magical banner, and they always
Oh,
take the banner
interesting.
becalming.
Devastating charge +1 strength and
Oh,
devastating charge +1 advance.
that's actually
So
pretty decent. That's pretty good.
they advance 6 when they charge, and then they are strength 7 when they charge, which is really strong here because there's actually a good number of high resilience targets where the bonus strength is going to matter.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
It is worth
Um,
mentioning that there's literally nothing in Joe's list where Martin's general or his lions get the multi wounds because his
the
lord is
chariot.
standard infantry. No, he doesn't get it against constructs.
Oh, does he?
It's
Oh, okay.
large. It's large beast, large cavalry, or gigantic.
I
The chariot is
think the
large
Lion
construct.
Guard and the guy on chariot are still good generally, but just not very great in this matchup.
Yeah, no, and I think they're still good in this matchup just because Joe is relying so much on like
Yeah,
high strength, high resilience, and being strength 7 on the charge and strength 6 all the time is just like very relevant.
I agree.
Um, no, Martin, you don't get it against the Cav because they're standard cavalry.
And
You
they
only
only
get it
have one
against
wound anyway,
large
right?
cavalry. They also only have 1 wound, so it wouldn't even do anything if you did get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
Lion Guard will fuck some shit up for sure.
I don't think they're
Um,
that good against warriors. Like I think they're fine, but I don't think it's like an amazing matchup. Like they only have 1 attack each, and the warriors will come back.
I mean,
Like it's
yeah,
fine.
it's all about the combo charges, right? Like you just have to dominate the outsides and then combo charge them in, and then you're fine
Yeah,
theoretically.
I don't love Joe's magic phase. Like if Joe had a better magic phase, I'd be a lot more excited about his list. But 2 bound spells as your only spells. Like
Yeah,
granted, they're really high impact. They're amazing bound spells. Like if you get either one off, it's a huge deal. But it's just like, let's say you have a 6 versus 5 dice phase, you cast both of them on 8. Like he's pretty likely just going to stop both of them. It's like he stops one and then it's 50-50, he stops the second one.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. Um, and I agree, and I also think that you're right in that I don't know. I think that this is pretty 50-50 because I think that Martin's list really does well against everything other than this warrior block, but then he doesn't really have much of an answer to the warrior block. So, you know, what do
Yeah,
you do?
alchemy is very strong against it though, because like he
That's
doesn't even
true.
have any MR on it. Like he has no MR on the warrior block. So if he just casts Quicksilver Lash or yeah, just if he just lashes it every turn, like he kills 2-3 warrior. Like Res 5 doesn't matter against Quicksilver Lash, right?
Yeah.
That's
But you're not
economically.
going to lash him turn 1. You're going to want to go for the knights, the chariot, and then the warriors.
Are you even going to want to go for the knights? Like these warriors are like 35 points a model. The knights are like, okay, yeah, fine. They're like 70 points a model. They're greed and lances. They're
Well,
actually like, yeah,
you can
kitted
just
out.
sort of like you can just sort of like wipe that unit off of the board theoretically in one turn, right?
True enough. True enough.
And
I
I
mean,
think
they're one
that
plus against shooting though, so I'm not that
no, that's what
excited
I'm
about.
saying. You quick lash them first.
Yeah, you lash them and then what? You shoot like the single shot Reaper at them or something? I don't know.
I don't know. You just make them non-relevant, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. We've
alright,
dwelled on this matchup a lot. Let's move on.
that's true. Okay, is this the last matchup that we're about to go into?
Yes, this is the last one, and we don't have Victor's list because he submitted an illegal list, which is
Okay. Do you want to
annoying.
go through these first two just so we have all on one recording, or are we okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
Let's go
cool.
back and do the first two.
Great. I think that this is a fine list. I don't really know vampire counts that well. I think that this list is okay. I think that what it suffers from is that it's just a bunch of S3 and a dark coach.
Right. Yeah, so I will talk through what I'm thinking with this list. Basically, I have two adepts,
Mm-hmm.
both of which have the hereditary also. So I have a 6 spell magic phase. And I have a good amount of flexibility if I want to take 3 buffs, or 3 buffs and a missile,
Mm-hmm.
or 2 missiles and 2 buffs, and then the 2 hereditaries.
Mm-hmm.
So my plan is kind of to like try and sit back as long as possible and cast my hereditary and make my units big. And in the meantime, my Altar of Undeath also gets a little bit stronger. It gains 1 strength every turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then like at the last minute, I guess I'll have to fight, which is going to be the part that's less exciting. But then I'm hoping to cast like, in the average magic phase, get off a buff on one of these like big units of skeletons. And if I cast Spectral Blades or +1 strength and AP on unit of skeletons, like they're not that bad. If I pop the Rending Banner and cast +1 strength and AP, they're strength 4 AP 3, strength 4 AP 2, or if I get Spectral Blades, they're actually pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. I literally never played a game with this army, but
Sure.
that's my plan.
I think that makes sense as a general plan. I agree with Simon that it's lacking punch, because what I probably would have done is not done double Nosferatu and done at least one, the other one that fights.
That even allowed? Can you even mix Vampire Bloodlines? I don't even know how to do that.
Oh
I
well,
couldn't figure it out.
oh maybe you're not allowed.
I don't think you can,
Oh okay.
but I could be
Um,
wrong.
I just don't think that your magic is doing enough to make up for the fact that everything just sucks in this list, other than the Dark Coach. I mean, just sucks in terms of like when it gets touched, you know.
I mean, the Vampire Courtiers aren't that bad. Like, they're a lot better than a typical, like, 200-point adept.
Oh, really,
Like,
Simon? You can do whatever. Can you mix bloodlines? I also thought that you couldn't mix bloodlines.
You guys are probably right.
Only if it's a main blood family. Oh, I understand. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the Vampire Courtiers they have 3 attacks, strength 5,
yeah.
agility 6. So
Oh,
they're
unless
actually
it's a main
like
blood family. Okay.
they're like reasonably decent in close combat. I mean, they don't have any armor,
Yeah.
so they don't like to get hit. But
I mean, are you really putting in your general into combat though?
I'm definitely not trying to. But
Yeah.
like worst case scenario, if I charge the unit with both casters in, they are going to have 6 strength 5 attacks at
Sure.
agility 7. Which,
It's
not
fine.
excited
I mean,
about it,
listen,
but
I think that it's okay, and I think that what maybe what I would wish is like a wraith guy. Like those guys are pretty cheap and speed bumpy. I really like the Cav actually, and I think the Cav can really tangle with things in these smaller point lists. But I also understand that you don't want to build for 2K, you want to build for 4.5, and then this is just like a step in that direction, you know?
yeah, this is mostly just like the
the core.
The half of it's like half of a 4,500 point list. Like the 4,500 point list I'm building towards is just another Dark Coach, another Altar of Undeath, another
Yeah,
unit of skeletons, and then a Shrieking Horror.
that seems fine. I mean, I think
Yeah, I
that
think
you'll
like
probably be favored in this matchup because you're gonna put like 50 bodies on hold the line, and all 50 of those are gonna be scoring. Um,
yeah. So I guess for courtiers are res 4, Simon. They're strength 5 though.
yeah, I mean, I think that
Um,
they dish out a fair amount of punishment, but they can't take a hit.
yeah, no, they really can't. They're agility 6 though, so
I think it's
whatever.
fine, yeah. I mean, the Dark Coach is gonna pull some weight, and the Altar of Undeath is also not bad. I faced against this one time, and it was kind of scary.
Yeah, I feel like in a small points game, I'm hoping there's just a lot of armies that struggle to kill the Dark Coach in one turn, and if
Mm-hmm.
they don't kill it in one turn, I just heal it so much because both my casters have gates
Yeah.
and both of them have the hereditary, and I can just like take it back to full health in a magic phase that I cast like even one spell basically. Um, so that's the hope. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
literally have no idea, but we'll see. And the skeletons are pretty garbage. Like they do have parry, but other than that, they're like offense 2 or some shit. Like it's pretty grim.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you're gonna be fine in this one. I think that you're gonna struggle. I think you're gonna struggle in the next two because I don't think that you move particularly fast with your scoring. Depending on who you face, right?
Yeah,
But I think that you're right that there's not much. Even if you focus on the Dark Coach first, there's only a couple armies that we have seen that can really do much damage to it. Like I think that Jeff's army can. I think that Simon's army can, but I don't know who else is really bringing down a coach turn one.
yeah. In one turn, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully, not too many people. I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't think
I think actually Martin's list has a good shot into the Dark Coach because he has all the multi wound.
it's not. It's a construct. He doesn't get multi wounds.
Well, never mind then. But I think he has a lot of high strength hits, which is also fine. All right,
Yeah.
let's just quickly do the first two matches, and then I'll post both videos. But just so that people only have to watch one video, I'm gonna. This is a little bit abbreviated because we did go through this, and it was real choppy. It seems as though that has become better though. Um, so let's just do this a little quickly. I'm just gonna do a quick rundown on my list. I basically made a 4.5k list and I chopped it down into 2k. Which is why some of the numbers are a little bit weird. If I were to build for 2k, these 7 Heath Riders are probably Dryads. They should still be Dryads because there's Dryads in the list. That's a mistake on my part. Um, I think that my army is fine. I think that it struggles into hold the center, which is what I faced off against Simon. Simon being like he just recently opened a new bakery slash restaurant, so he's not going to be able to make round one. So we played it this morning. He pretty handedly won hold the center by just holding the center with dwarves. And I did not do much to that, but I did successfully avoid him in true elven fashion. So he got half points off of my Heath Riders, and I got half points off of his chariot. And we called it a day. Um, I think that my list is fine. I think that it benefits a lot from a bigger board. So there's a lot of chunky armies out there, and I think it's going to struggle into those because you can just sort of push up on it, and there's not much you can do. Um, so I'm like, I think it'll be fine in breakthrough. I think it'll be fine in the scoring one, but I don't think that it's like blowing anyone's mind.
I'm
Um,
excited for you to get paired into Dick round 2 and
yeah,
try
right.
to just run over you again.
I mean, there wasn't much that happened in Simon. Like, if you look at it, it was one of those games where not like end of the game, not much happened. Like in terms of actual casualties, but there's a lot of like small moments where things could have really spiraled in one way or the other. Um, that made the game. Uh, I was clenching for most of the game. Um,
Yeah,
we
fair
spoke a little
enough.
bit about Simon's list before. I think that this is a good list, and I think that it's a strong list going into the into into the small units, into the small size. Um, I think it has a little bit of everything. It has shooting. It has res 7, which is just like who can, especially at these point levels, who can really deal with that. I think it has some magic, and I think it has like the Tarks are good, right? Like I think that this army is pretty decent. Thinking about it more, with alchemy, you get lash and you get, and if you don't can't do lash, you can do the attacks are flaming for rerolls. Um, and you also get the +2 armor save, which I think is really good on the Tark Anointed. Um, but yeah, I think that this is a really strong list. I think I might
I think it's good on
struggle.
everything. You can
Yeah,
make their Infernal Engine 1+, Res
yeah,
7 1+, like that's a fucking meme. Or you can make the Citadel Guard, I guess 2+, right? They start with plate. I'm not really sure.
yeah. The Citadel Guard start with plate. The thing is, like the Tark Anointed, despite being Res 5, are the most fragile thing in the list because
What
they're
are they?
only
Res
5 up
5.
save,
How much armor?
5, 4 up, I think.
Yeah. So Word of Iron is huge on them for
Yeah.
sure.
And I think that
I
making something have a flame attack and then making the thing that they're fighting be flammable is pretty strong. And I
Yeah,
think that
you say
reliably.
that like it's a giant revelation. Yes, that is the point of the alchemy lore.
No, but I mean, yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is, neither. Yeah, well, whatever. So like, I'm just saying, I'm coming back on alchemy. I think that taking Quicksilver Lash against my army makes sense because I have the big tree. But I think that in most cases, Quicksilver Lash is just in your pocket in case you need it. But most of the time, you can just go flaming, and +1 armor save.
Yeah, I feel like Quicksilver Lash is going to be good in a lot of the matchups we looked at. Like, it's not going to be good against Skaven, fine, but probably not against Orcs. But most of the other matchups, I think it has a decent amount of stuff to do.
It's not a good against high elves.
It's okay. You can shoot the general, right? You can shoot
He
the
has
Lion
he has a
Chariot
2+
general.
against flaming.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. Doesn't really
yeah,
do anything against the High Elves. Then I guess you're right.
yeah, yeah. I think normally armor and glory is the correct way. And I agree that taking it for because you yeah taking it for just the tree is fine because you don't have that much of an answer otherwise.
I also like just taking 2 buffs. Like if you only have 2 spells, I feel like you should just take 2 buffs, right? Like
Yeah, I mean that's what I do.
otherwise you're gonna end up in combat and then you're only gonna have 1 buff and they stop it and then you just look real dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I generally take 2 buffs in the Tree Father, and it's pretty good. Like I either take healing and waters, or yeah. Anyways, it's pretty good.
All right, let's move on to the last one.
Yeah, and then let's get this over with, so I can have this dinner, these enchiladas that Galen made. Um, I think that this might be one of the more interesting matchups for round one, personally speaking. What do you think, Evo?
Right now, you still have you versus Simon up on my screen, but
Oh,
I
really?
assume you're looking at the second matchup.
In Twitch, it's saying that I have the other one up. Can someone
Okay, yeah,
chime in and
I see
see?
it now.
Okay, cool. So it just took a little while to reload. I think
Yeah,
that this game, this one is one of the more interesting set of lists against each
yeah,
other.
I'm actually really excited to see this one. I think it's going to be cool to see if the Sand Scorpions can actually do the thing of like show up behind the lines and
Yeah,
charge these gun line in the rear. And like they can obviously just charge the volley gun, so maybe he can figure out a way to put them at long range to the handguns, but
yeah.
still charge range of the volley gun, which is just like a pretty big deal. Yeah.
I think the one
I
big thing that I'm looking at right now is that it just doesn't really feel like Shane has a great answer to these Knights of the Sun Griffin. Like, can Ushabti really get there against them?
I think they'll fight. Like they'll both lose models. I don't
Yeah,
think anyone's gonna be like super favored. Um
I think you need to like combo charge something. Like, you need to like archers and skeletons into that unit, and then be like, "What up, res?"
I mean, when I look at this matchup, to me, it's like just all that what happens with the chariots, right? Like
Yeah.
he's gonna have his general in the unit of chariots, and if they charge anything, whatever they charge is just gonna completely evaporate. But if they don't charge something, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's really gonna, and their speed, they're advanced 9, so they're like super fucking fast. Um, I think like Yakupo should put as much shooting as he can efficiently put into the chariots,
Yeah.
and then like if they do get an impactful charge, that kind of breaks the game open, and if they don't, then Yakupo just grinds him down slowly by shooting everything.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
maybe eventually charting with the Knight to the Sun Griffin. But I think one way this game could work is like, he kind of shoots the chariots. They don't get a huge charge, but the Sand Scorpions really outperform and like kill the War Machine and
Hmm.
charge the smaller unit of light infantry, and then like, yeah, I don't know. That
Yeah.
that could be sweet.
I think that it's interesting. I think that it's a good matchup. And we'll see what
This is
happens.
another one where both players have um, only 2 spells in their phase,
Right.
and I don't love that. I think
Evocation
Yakupo.
is very strong though.
Yes, I like the evocation magic phase better just because you take reroll to hit, reroll to wound, and like those are just great buffs.
Yeah.
And I think Yakupo typically takes 0 buffs. He takes like +1 aim and ice and fire,
Hmm.
and so he's just hoping to like add damage at the distance and just like kind of give up when it comes to the combat, which I think is fine. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. Anyways,
Right.
I think that that's
Any
it.
last thoughts?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this weekend. I When we first started this endeavor for Slow Grow, I remember us talking about like if we get like a 6 to 8 person tournament, and we have like 1 or 2 new people joining, it is a success, you know. But
Yeah.
I think that it's super cool that we. Oh man, we spent so long just shitting on you, Dick. I'm glad that you
Dick,
just joined now.
I didn't realize until now that you have no magic face. It's very manly. Okay, we
Sometimes you just
recorded
gotta
we
put
recorded the
your,
past hour.
you know, sometimes you just gotta put your dick on the table. And Dick did that.
Yeah, we. What did we say about Dick's matchup? Who is he playing? He's playing Daniel. Oh yeah, it's a tough one. I like Daniel's list a lot, also, frankly, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. Daniel has the best magic phase apart
He
from
can
me in the
dispel. Yeah,
tournament. He
everyone gets
actually has
magic.
4 spells.
Yeah. I think that it's gonna be grindy, you know? So.
Move them up, and if they die, bring them back.
It's not a bad. There's worse strategies out there.
Yeah, I like it. I think this is going to be a fun one to see. Also, I like both these lists.
Yeah.
I think the orc list is great. I love that he has 4 spells, and witchcraft is great. The thing is, witchcraft, is it good in this matchup? This is definitely not the matchup you're taking witchcraft for. That's for sure.
No. And shamanism is honestly not that great in this matchup either.
Yeah, you're totally right about
Although
that.
there's that difficult terrain spell.
That's the 6. He can't
Oh,
take
it is. Okay, so then never mind.
But yeah, you're right. Like shamanism, like what are you even taking out of shamanism? Like
Yeah.
the swarm of insects is terrible. +1 strength and AP is not exciting. Um, I guess you could take the hereditary.
Yeah. Yeah.
41 is more than 40. I think he's got
That's
you there.
true. That's true. Um but yeah, before Dick came in here and you know ruined our vibe, I guess. No, I mean like added to the vibe or whatever. As I was saying, like I remember us talking in November or September or whenever it was when we were driving back from that one tournament, and we are like, we just want 1 or 2 new people to join. And now we have 4 or 5 people. It was a vibe on Saturday
Yeah.
with everyone playing and just like people like finish one game and they would start another one. It's been really cool to see like the development of this new community. And I've been really happy to see that. I think that that's
Yeah, I
something
totally agree.
that's really
Great.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Saturday. I think it's going to be some fun matchups, and
Hmm.
I'm excited to see what people have learned. Like we have people coming in with varieties of levels of experience and people refining their tactics. And like you said, like Jeff's been just grinding. Like he's been getting in
Yeah,
like 2 games a week for the
yeah,
past like 5 weeks. Like I think he's just ready to absolutely slay.
I
I think he's
agree.
on a big win streak too. I think he pasted Joe 2 games last week. I can't remember what he played the week before, but I feel like he won. I feel like, and he's been playing his slow grow list exclusively. Like
Yeah.
he's very focused.
Oh, thank you, Martin. We do what we can, and I think that we're gonna try to continue to make sure. Yeah, I actually spoke to Simon about this today when I was playing him. Um, he said that depending on the situation with COVID, he can start hosting game nights in his East Village location on Mondays, and then we can have like a weekday, like weekday hangs on Monday and Saturday hangs for everyone else on at Carcosa, and I think that that'll like bridge the gap so that if you want to get a game in a given week, you'll be able to get a game in. Um,
Yeah, I would like to be able. I would like to have like a weekday night also because I know weekends are hard for some people, and
yeah,
I think in the near future I may have more flexibility on weekdays and I'd be able to play on Monday or I feel like
nice.
Monday or Thursday are like the good nights to pick for that for some reason. That's my inclination, but we can
Yeah,
also just do a poll and see when people want to try and converge on.
I definitely agree. It would be nice to just have both options so that we can always like you will always be able to plan on having a game in a week.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like Saturday morning was definitely a vibe, and it just like I like having one day for gaming because, um, or like these like sort of like collection days because it's just nice to like shit on like shit around with each other or whatever. Like just like talk smack and like you know um. And like I assume that it'd be
Totally.
fun for you to like isolate yourself and not look at us for 2.5 hours while you play your game in silence. I know.
I need complete focus. I can't afford to be distracted by idle banter.
That's true.
All right, guys, I gotta go to dinner, but
Wait,
this
one
was
quick
fun.
question. Who do you think is gonna win?
Uh, I'm gonna say Simon or Daniel
Okay,
would be my two guesses. I guess I already know that Simon didn't 20 his first round, so maybe that means he shouldn't be favored to win the whole thing.
but if you didn't know
I,
that,
I'll if I did know that, I would probably say Simon or Daniel. I don't like. I mean, I know I'm not gonna do very well,
yeah,
so I can't vote for myself. And Jeff, I think is a dark horse. Like he's been grinding. I feel like Yakuza's list is strong. If Dick had a magic phase, I'd be more excited about him, but I don't know if pure manliness can take down a tournament.
I
Um,
mean, you've never seen his manliness on display, I guess.
yeah, Daniel
um,
is a strong player. Like I think Daniel is my pick here. Like he's also just like a super veteran, right?
yeah,
He's been to tons of tournaments. Um,
I'm gonna say
yeah,
Jeff just because he has been grinding and his list is very well situated for a lot of the tournament. It's between him and Daniel.
yeah,
I
fair
expect
enough.
table one to be him and Daniel potentially.
Yeah, what how do you think you're gonna do?
I think I'll be middle of the road. I don't think that this list loses particularly big, but I don't think that it has the ability to win big either.
I think I'm gonna perform pretty poorly. I think I'm not gonna. I'm gonna. It's gonna be the first time I ever play a list where like my general doesn't fight well, and also if my general dies,
Hmm.
my entire army collapses instantly.
Yeah.
And the combination of those two things is gonna like take a lot of getting used to. And I'm gonna end up getting my like zombie bunker charged in like 2 out of 3 games and just get 20'd or something like that.
I mean, I can honestly, when I was playing Tomb Kings in sixth edition or seventh edition, it was that was the biggest thing to get used to. Was first of all that you can't flee, but you already have that because you never flee with your warriors anyway. Even in the units that can flee, you don't flee with them. And uh, that was the biggest one. And honestly, just like having a unit that was just off limits, like you were like, my entire goal is to protect this unit, takes a while to
Yeah,
get used to because in elves you're like every single one of these units is expendable, and I will
yeah,
flee with all of them. Um,
yeah, yeah.
anyways, All right,
And
guys.
my vampires can't flee, right? Even if they're just by themselves, they still can't flee.
No, I think all undead are unable to flee.
Yeah, I think you're right. My vampires are still undead, so they can't flee.
Yeah,
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
yeah.
Um,
It just like it requires a level of like just making sure that it just requires a level of like positioning that other armies don't necessarily need. Because you need to sort of like think of where units will be in a couple of turns. That takes a while to get used to, but it's strong when you're
yeah,
able to.
and thinking about it now for the first time, like even if I manage to like two successful magic phases in a row before we clash, and I manage to grow my skeleton units to like 40 and 50 respectively, that's still not that impressive. Like Dick is just starting with 2 units of 40 rats. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
have to cast any spells.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. Like I and and Daniel has 40 orcs, so he gets to put them on the board to turn one.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not that exciting. We'll see. We'll see.
But I think
Chris
your
Mintz is
army
always
will
saying
get
VC sucks. So
stronger as the games get bigger.
yeah, well, we'll see about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
It also gets more complicated, so I feel like I'll have room to play poorly. All right,
that's
guys.
fair.
This
All
was
right,
fun.
guys. See you all.
See you
Really
later.
excited for Saturday.
Just throw the